I'm so sorry, y'all. I had stepped away from my computer and I didn't think it was going to take me as long as it took me. Hey, everybody. Again, I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I hope you guys had a great day. And again, I want to reiterate for those that this was a hard day for you. I want to send you some virtual loves and hugs, kisses and hugs to you guys. Baby, I got a lot to say tonight. So let's buckle up, baby. Buckle up, honey. I got a lot to say. First of all, I want to say this. Hold on, y'all. First of all, I want to say this. Angela. Baby, listen. When we get to the end of this season, we need to give out some superlatives. Like you used to do in high school, most improved, most athletic, most likely to succeed. And Angela, at the end of this season, when we give out these superlatives, baby, I'm giving you the superlative of you took lemons and made lemonade, because if your ass ain't turned into the Kenya of the season, baby, Angela is dropping tea everywhere. Do you hear me? Angela has become, not only is Angela dropping those petty reads in confessionals, right? Angela is also the bone carrier. She is carrying bones better than Candy ever did. Because quiet as kept and loud as it is, Candy was the bone carrier, child. Sheree was the bone carrier before Candy. Baby Angela, you did that this episode. You did that this episode, honey. Let me say hi to the people. I'm sorry I was a little late, honey. Let me say hi to the people. You know I was coming on camera, DB. Come on now. You knew I was coming on camera. Thank you, Jay Rucker, for becoming a member. Mahogany says, Shamia is always crying. I don't understand why she feels like it's a need for her to keep asking questions about Dennis and Drew, but want to hold back on her friendship with Porsha. Lovely Soul, good evening. Hey, Quake. Hey, Tawana. What's up, Don? Hey, Boo. Lovely Blueprint. What's going on? Thank you, Lovely Soul, for becoming a member. Thank you, Lovely Soul of 2. Little baby, they skipped some steps in this Shamia and Porsha fallout and how we get back to that wedding from 20 years ago. Girl. I'm late, but I want to say it was Shamia. Porsha was not the only person wrong there. Baby, we got some stuff to talk about, honey. Angela is definitely the MVP of this episode. She is absolutely. Listen, then we had this conversation the other day about how Angela became the MVP and Shamia is falling from grace, because in my opinion, Shamia fell even further tonight. Y'all might not like everything I got to say, but baby, let's get into it. So in this first scene, we see Kelly and her daughters, and I'm gonna do my best tea. Honestly, there was really nothing in this scene. I mean, it was a cute family scene. Don't get me wrong. I was loving to see Kelly talking to her daughters. I was loving the conversation, when she asked them what their goals were and stuff like that. But basically, this scene was to let us know that she is planning on moving into a new house. Looks like she was awarded the house in the divorce, or at least at that point in their divorce, she was awarded the house. And oh, I told myself I will watch your review first before I watch the episode. Oh, child. Okay, thank you, boo. What's up, Cajun? Angela absolutely goes to the head of the cast. Yes, Miss Gigi, yes. She was awarded the house, but she has to sell it and I guess take the proceeds from the home. And so now she's in the market to purchase a new home. So let's get into this next episode. And the reason why I'm going to say this, that was a cute episode, but because the rest of this episode was so damn messy, it really didn't fit. Like, it was a cute scene, but baby, the rest of this episode was so damn messy. So damn messy. Okay. We have Shamia going out to eat with Ralph. Let me say this. There is absolutely, positively no world with Shamia other than a reality TV show. There's absolutely, positively no world where Shamia need to be going out to eat with Ralph. None. She talking about something. I don't think I'm going behind. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong because I was on a podcast with Ralph. I'm sorry, what? Now I can see if she said, I don't think I did anything wrong because me and Ralph were friends before he started dating Drew. Then I might give her some grace. But I'm sorry, you were in a whole one episode of a pod. I could even see if she said we were co-hosts on a podcast together. There is no reason. And then she said Ralph reached out to me. That should be your issue. Like, why is Ralph reaching out to you? With the cameras there, which tells me that Ralph is just trying to get on camera, and Ralph is trying to do exactly what he did, which is to further smirch Drew's name, was to further besmirchify Drew's name and try to make Drew out to be the bad guy in this situation. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying that Drew was innocent. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking for a thing to wipe my glasses. I'm not saying that Drew was innocent, but there was no reason for Ralph to be filming with anybody on this show other than Drew. None. I could see Ralph even filming with Dennis before I could see Ralph filming with Drew. I'm sorry, I said Drew. I mean Shamia. Then here come messy ass Shamia. You gonna tell Porsha that you having dinner with Drew. I mean, damn it, having dinner with Ralph, and messy ass Porsha shows up. Now, explain to me why it's okay for you to go out to dinner and film. Remember, your issue was that Drew was filming with Dennis. So explain to me why it's okay for you to go out to dinner with Ralph, and you literally had a whole breakdown over Drew filming with Dennis. I know it's just petty get back. I know what the reason is. But that was messy as hell. That was messy on Shamia's part. It was messy on Porsha's part. And it was messy on Ralph's part. Now, in the world of good reality television, baby, this was an A1 moment, okay? And when it comes to messy-ass good reality television, this was an A1 moment. I got to call a thing a thing. But when it comes to what we're talking about in this storyline, with Porsha having a whole problem with Drew filming with Dennis, and now you done filmed the whole scene. And not only did you film a whole scene with Ralph, you spent the whole scene being messy as hell and talking shit about Drew the whole time. You shared that text message, which I don't think that text message says what y'all keep trying to make that text message say. There is no world, and maybe I'm giving Drew too much, but I can give Drew a lot. Let's be clear. I can give Drew a lot. But there is no world where I think that Drew propositioned Dennis in a text message. I just don't. I don't believe it. Now, I could be wrong, and if it come out later that that's really how it went down, I can admit I'm wrong. But there is no world where I would believe for any moment in time that Drew propositioned Dennis. And Dennis even told you last week that that's not what that text message was about. Like, Dennis had a whole conversation with you last week, Porsha, and said that's not what that conversation was about. Then Ralph is gonna say he never cheated on Drew, and Drew cheated on him with Ty, and that's why he filed for divorce. First of all, we already had that conversation. According to the court records, down to I don't know what county. I don't know if it was Fulton County, Cobb County, all them different counties down in the Georgia area. I don't know which county it was, but we literally went over the court documents, and throughout their entire court proceeding, Drew is listed as the petitioner and Ralph is listed as the respondent. So as far as the state of Georgia is concerned, the person that filed first was Drew. Now, an argument can be had that y'all was running down to the courthouse and Drew just happened to get there first. You got hit at the red light and Drew was able to get through the red light and she got to the place first. An argument can be made that that's what happened, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the person who filed first is Drew, according to the state of Georgia. Now, then you gonna sit here and say you never cheated on that woman. There's no listen. I think that's just gonna be my phrase for tonight. There's no world where I live in that you didn't cheat on that woman. Sorry, not sorry. There is no world where I reside. Hey, right here. There's no world where I reside where I believe that Ralph didn't cheat on Drew. Now, I ain't saying Drew was innocent. She was a perfect wife. I don't know. Drew might have been playing, horizontal bingo down to with Ty. I don't know what Drew and Ty had going on. But what I do believe is that Ralph cheated on Drew. I believe that. I believe that. Where's cousin Courtney? Where is she? Where is cousin Courtney? I do remember Drew saying that they didn't date that long and that she was, I do remember. I don't know if I remember the exact timeline, but I do remember that they didn't date that long. Y'all gonna get enough of getting caught up in the honeymoon phase with these men's. We was talking about that earlier on Love and Marriage Detroit. Y'all gonna get sick of getting caught up in the honeymoon phase. Y'all better get to know these people. Didn't Drew state it to her mother? State what to her mother? To love Keela. What did she say to her mother? Not leave Courtney Conehead on where she at. So not Courtney is his Florida secret, right? We still want to know what you was doing down to Tampa, because don't nobody believe that story you told. Not even Drew. So y'all are down, and then excuse me, Shamia, explain to me why you're okay with this. See, this the shit that Angela was trying to explain to you last week and trying to explain why her issue. See, this is the part that I need people to understand. Angela's issue with Shamia is separate from her issue from Porsha. Her issue with Porsha is that Porsha made the comment and said what she said, and she thought it was disrespectful and rude as fuck, okay? The difference is she's upset with Shamia because she feels, and I'm not saying she's right, but she feels like, you excuse Portia's bad behavior, the same bad behavior that you would not excuse in other people. And I put you on a different pedestal, and I was wrong for that. Baby, I love how Angela said, I was wrong for that. I put you here, but I realized that you're really just here. And now I know, and it is what it is. And see, that's the part that Shamia couldn't separate. Shamia was like, well, I don't understand how she can forgive Porsha, and Porsha is the one that said it, and she can't forgive me. And I was just laughing. It wasn't that you was laughing. What she's saying is, as Portia's friend, why you didn't check her and say, hey, girl, that ain't funny? Especially in light of Portia's reputation. Especially in light of the fact that you're a married woman as well. Hey, girl. That's not funny. So her issue with you, it just so happened that it happened with Porsha. But her issue with you is how you carried yourself in that moment. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you and say, Angela, I think you put too much on it, because you and Shamia wasn't friends like that. At the end of the day, Porsha was her best friend. And yeah, Porsha said something that was in poor taste. But honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know if I would have checked my friend in that moment either. I'm just gonna be honest. We was drinking, we was out there cutting up, and she said something that was rude as fuck. I laughed, and it was what it was. Me personally, I feel like you put 20 on 10, Angela. But I understand what you were saying, that your issue with Shamia is separate than your issue from Porsha. I understood the point you were making. I just feel like you was putting 20 on 10. But I understood the point you was making. Now, again, if you and Shamia had a relationship, that might be a different conversation. But y'all didn't. Okay. Lovely or soul, I agree with you 100%. By the time we get to the end of this, baby, we on the same page. I agree. I think Shamia is doing too much, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So, Kelly, we find out from Miss Angela. Angela! Baby, Angela says she is $4 million in debt with these houses. See? y'all be doing too much too fast too soon. First of all, what I feel like, I think it's a combination of things with this situation with Angela. Angela, I think you outpriced yourself. You know, when I first bought my house, yeah, I've told y'all this before. I bought my house, it was a foreclosure. Well, it was a short sale, right? And the people who were living in my house before me hadn't done a lot of upgrades to my house. Like they just hadn't. The carpet needed to be replaced. You know, it just wasn't a lot of upgrades that had been done. They were maintaining, but they weren't upgrading. And I remember I was like, oh, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And I had all these bright ideas. I had all this shit that I wanted to do. I saw this cute sink here and this cute this there. And I remember a friend telling me, she said, don't outprice yourself out of this house. And I was like, what you mean? What you talking about? I'm just talking about buying a sink and doing this. What you mean? She was like, don't do so much so fast that you exceed the value of your home, because then you don't have any equity in it. And at the time, I didn't understand it, but I understood after a while what she meant by that. I feel like that's what Angela did. Angela, you bought these houses that were in okay neighborhoods, decent neighborhoods, and you put way too much into those homes to the point where now, in order for you to make a profit, you have to price the houses that are probably outside of the price point for that neighborhood. That's why they're not selling. Did y'all see that closet? For them, I'm sorry, it's called the homeowner suite now, or the owner suite. Did y'all see that closet? Now, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm not one of those people that needs to have a 2-story closet and all of that. But if I'm about to pay $1.8 million in Georgia, is that the range? One of them was 1 point something and the other one was $800,000. Even for $800,000 in Georgia, hell, $800,000 here. But certainly $800,000 in Georgia. Did y'all see that closet? That closet was nothing more than a little walk-in. Like, it was not that. Baby, are you serious right now? Right, shoebox. And then she talking about what about the pool? Girl, she talking about the pool ain't even done yet. Which means that that's even more money that you have to spend to sell this home. Like, no, ma'am. That's why you sitting on $4 million in debt. Not 2 porta potties stuck together. I can't stand Tara's ass. Right. So, I mean, my closet in my main bedroom in my house is about that size. The size of that closet is about the size of maybe a little bit smaller, the closet I have. And I have a townhouse. You know what I mean? And I promise y'all I ain't paying nowhere close to no $800,000. Okay? So, you mean that extra space? Right. Because for her to call that a closet, I was like, girl. So, yeah, Angela, you outpriced yourself, and that's why you're going to take a loss. I don't think you might be able to sell 1 or 2 of those properties for what you're asking for, but you're certainly not going to be able to sell all of those properties for what you're asking for. You've outpriced yourself. And that lets me know that once again, you didn't ask anybody for help, because had you asked somebody who flips properties for help, they would have told you that. And again, it's a way of doing things and making something look aesthetically pleasing without outpricing yourself. You know what I'm saying? But moving right along. Here's where Angela dropped the first bone. She's talking to Kelly, and she tells Kelly that when they were at the studio, let me rewind. Put a pin in that, y'all. I'll be rewind. This lie, see, let's start with Shamia, because let's go back to the dinner with Ralph. Shamia, you already told one little lie. You told one little lie because you went back to Porsha and you made it sound like Drew made a comment about paying for Pilar's college. That's not what Drew said. Now, was the comment Drew made shady? Yes, it was shady. But it's not, the way you related to Porsha is not what Drew said. Drew said, with the way this contract is set up, the money that Dennis is about to make off of my album can put Pilar through college. That's what Drew said. Now, was it shady? It was still a little shady. But it was nowhere close to what you told Porsha that Drew said. And now Porsha is on that. She talked about my daughter. She did not talk about your daughter. See, I hate when people take something and they put 20 on 10. They put 20. You thought you'll remember how she made right, because that ain't how Porsha. That's not how Drew said it. Okay, can you say you mentioned my child is shady? Okay. And again, I'm not a mother, so I can't tell mothers how to feel. But to me, that's not. No. I did say it was shady, but it wasn't what Porsha. It's not what Shamia said. So I agree, it was a shady comment. It was shady, but it was nowhere. It wasn't on that level that Shamia tried to make it. Shamia put 20 on 10. So anyway, let's fast forward back to Angela sitting down talking to Kelly. Okay. So number one, she's letting Kelly know, I feel like Shamia feels some kind of way about Porsha. Because, when we left the studio, Shamia told us that basically all the things that all of us has always said about the Shamia Porsha friendship is basically Angela confirmed it to us, right? Angela was like, Shamia feels like, Porsha tried to keep her off the show. Shamia feels like Porsha, that she's always in Porsha's shadow. Yeah, she did clear up the baby room, but she did. She cleared up the baby room and let us know that she was not talking about Charles. She was talking about her first baby daddy, okay? Now, what I find interesting is that allegedly Drew was at that dinner. So I'd be interested to hear what Drew had to say. I would be interested to hear what Drew had to say, because allegedly Drew was at that dinner. And at first, y'all, I'm going to be honest and tell y'all, at first, I was like, thank you. Damn. You know what? I should have took notes. She did say that as well. She cleared up the baby rumor, but she did confirm that there has been infidelity in her and Charles's marriage. Now, once again, I have to say bravo. I have to say bravo to you, Angela, because you took all the ammunition away from these ladies. You was like, I did my oldest daughter's father did cheat on me and have a side baby, but it wasn't Charles. However, me and Charles have had infidelity. We did separate for a while, but we worked through it, and everything ain't rainbows and roses, but we worked it out. In my opinion, you didn't took all the ammunition from the ladies, because if you had been sitting there and pretending like the infidelity, I'm sorry, y'all. If you were like pretending like the infidelity never happened, now they got something to keep dangling over your head, but you cleared that shit. Now, she could still be telling a lie. I don't know. But she definitely cleared it. And what we have to understand is that was filmed before the show started, which means that even though we had already, a couple of weeks ago, hit the blogs about that old Wendy clip, she had already addressed it on the show. We just hadn't seen it yet. She had already cleared that up. We just hadn't seen that episode. You see what I'm saying? So Angela was like, oh, I know how this reality TV thing works. Okay? I know how this reality TV thing works. I already know what I'm doing now. Okay? I said, okay. Yep, she clocks her own T. Absolutely. So I gotta give her an A+ for that one. Hold on, let me see. Somebody said something. All she was saying was that they were going to make so much money from the album. Right, exactly, Cajun. Hold on. Somebody else said something. I don't understand why Shamia is saying Porsha shouldn't have others in their friendship, but then we see this. That's what I'm saying, Bat. That's what I'm saying. So Shamia, that's why I'm saying, and somebody earlier said that we flipping on Shamia. It's not that we're flipping. Well, I can't speak for y'all. It's not that I'm flipping on Shamia. It's just that when you get more information, you make with more. What I always tell y'all, I reserve the right to change my mind when I get more information. We're seeing how this is playing out. Like I said, when we get to the Porsha Shamia, I got a lot to say. But let me say this. Shamia, you've been running around here for months. Acting like you don't understand why you and Porsha's friendship is where it is right now. And it's a lie. You know exactly what happened. You know exactly what happened. We watched it tonight. We watched and I mean we still got what more episodes to go. So we saw the foundation crumbling right before our very eyes. Now let me say this. I'm gonna be honest with y'all and tell y'all when I watched this scene with Angela and Kelly, can I tell y'all? I'm being honest. I'm being honest with y'all. I ain't believe it at first. I said, I think Angela putting 20 on 10. Shamia wouldn't have said all of that to these women who she know. Listen, Shamia, you've been doing this too long, baby girl. You have been a part of this franchise for too long. You have seen how this shit moves for too long. You knew better than to sit with them women and say anything about Porsha. Now, again, I get it. We all making a show here. We are all filming a show. But girl, you already knew better. So that's why I was thinking, I know good and daggone well Shamia didn't sit there with Angela and Drew and bare her soul about Porsha. I know she didn't. But you know what made me change my mind now? Was when they were at the end of it. When they was at the pamper party, which we're going to get there. I know I'm jumping ahead. We're going to get to the pamper party. But when we were at the pamper party, and Angela said, how would I know about the wedding? I said, you know what? Damn. Now, to be fair, it was on the episode. It was on the episode because I'm going to play that clip in a minute where, because Porsha got caught in a lie tonight. But I said, damn, that's a point. So when Kelly and Kelly and Angela had this heart to heart or whatever. Now Kelly, I'm gonna be fair. Kelly felt some kind of way about that thing because she was like, "Well, why would Shamia be like? I don't understand why Shamia would say all of that. Like, why would she tell y'all that, right?" Angela Olivia Poulter auntie, she did. I think Shamia went to. I do. Now that I believe at first I didn't believe the conversation happened, right? But now that I believe that the conversation happened, I absolutely believe Shamia said it. I do. I believe Shamia said it. I believe Shamia said it. So moving forward, just like Shamia put 20 on 10 on what Drew said. So next, shall we see Brittany and her husband, don't care. Moving right along. So Angela and Porsha, again, Angela's shady as hell talking about some. I mean, after I might have forgiven Porsha for what she said, but after she said what she said about sleeping with my husband, I absolutely am not going to invite her to my home. I said, you know what? Angela, you shady as hell, but it's funny as hell too. But baby, you are shady as hell. Talking about something. Hell no, I ain't inviting her to my house. Can we cut back to Porsha going swimming at Fowler's house? Can we cut to the scene where Porsha showed up down to Fowler's house to swim in that pool, honey? She said, no, you can't come in. Now, we can go down here to one of my rental properties and we can play some tennis. But ma'am, no ma'am. Ma'am, no ma'am. So Angela, they talk about her daughter. She said, listen, basically the daughter didn't tell her because she said the daughter said she a helicopter mama and she didn't want her all in her business like that. I still feel like that's kind of fucked up, but that ain't my business. That ain't my story. It is what it is. And don't need dwelling on the child. You know the girl married now. She also dropped the tea about her daughter being in a same-sex marriage. Again, it's not a big deal. I don't care, but you already know people was like, is she married to a girl? Maybe Angela don't like it because she's married to a woman. Angela said her partner is a beautiful girl. She let it be known. That ain't my issue. So again, Angela, baby, this was a masterclass. This episode was a masterclass in Housewives one-on-one. Angela, you did that. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're going to give us the rest of the season, but baby, these last 2 episodes that you didn't gave us, Angela, baby, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Not Porsha can't come to my house and I'm single. You know what, Nikki? Cajun, really? Moving right along. So, but then Angela and Porsha start talking about Shamia. And Angela cleared up what was said, what Drew said. She said that is not what Drew said, and she cleared up what Drew said. And Porsha was like, but that's not what Shamia said. And Angela was like, that's not what said. Shamia put 20 on 10. That's not what was said. That's not what was said. So I think Porsha was already starting to feel like, well, damn, why she kind of set me up like that? So then Porsha starts talking about, they were talking about, the comments that were made or whatever. And baby, Angela lets Porsha know, well, Shamia feels some kind of way. And I feel like the two of y'all need to talk. And Porsha was like, what you mean? What you talking about? Well, Shamia told us that ... She feels some kind of way about the wedding, about how, she doesn't want to be seen as your lapdog, and Porsha, now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't know if Porsha started crying for real or not, because she covered her face. I don't know, part of me feel like maybe she was laughing. I don't know. Well, Porsha covered her face and got very emotional, and she ended the scene. She's like, we're done. Baby, she ended that scene. She didn't even pick up her purse and stuff. She got up and walked off, okay? She left her purse and shit sitting right there. And she was just like, I can't do this. Like, what? Like, I'm not, like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing here? Like, why am I revisiting this? And I'm going to be honest and say, this was probably Portia's worst fear with Shamia becoming a full-time housewife, right? Porsha also said that Shamia had made mention about her keeping her off the show. And she said that's not true. She said, I actually showed her my list of like my dream team of housewives, and she's on the list. Like, I talked to her about it, and she said that she told Shamia, I think this was later on, but she was like, I told Shamia basically part of the reason why you haven't been picked to be full-time is that your husband doesn't want to film. And we see that her husband is not filming. Hell, her husband didn't even go with her to the fertility place to meet the surrogate. He was on FaceTime. So I feel like there's some validity to that her husband doesn't want to film, and that might be part of the reason why they didn't want to make her full-time. I have to look at stuff and say, you know what? And we know how these reality shows go, even though they don't pay the men, other than New Jersey, they don't pay the men, but it's a housewife show. They want a male presence. They want to see you interacting with your husband, even if it's some bullshit, right? So maybe Porsha couldn't keep up with the acting. I don't know, child. I don't know. Right, we don't even know what Gerald sounds like. Right, we've seen him twice. Well, we heard him on the phone once, and we saw him twice. We saw him when they went to the hospital, but that wasn't even an official scene. They just had footage from the hospital, and she, I guess, sent it to producers. And then from her birthday party when he gave her that daggone card. Like, that's it. We didn't even see him the rest of the birthday party. Like, we saw him give her that card, and that was the end of that. Now, this next scene is Drew. Listen. Drew talking to Dr. Ken. Baby, Dr. Ken done got more. Dr. Ken done made more money off the housewives than the housewives, I think, at this point. But she's talking to him about where her and Ralph are. She said her and Ralph are at a point where they're not even speaking anymore. And she's kind of finding herself back in that dark place she was. Back in that dark place that she was before, early on in the separation or whatever. And again, I don't believe. Let me say this. Let me reword what I'm going to say. I believe there has to be some extreme extenuating circumstances for a judge to tell y'all not to tell the kids that y'all are getting divorced. There has to be an extreme situation for that to be the case. Like, I just don't believe in a normal divorce that is how a judge moves. There had to be something. There had to be something. Because the rest of that just don't make any sense to me. We saw in the court documents where they were court ordered for those kids to go to therapy. And I'm thinking maybe because of y'all's arguing and the things that those kids have seen and heard in the house, that maybe a judge said, before y'all tell the kids y'all have to do A, B, and C. You know what I mean? Maybe there were things they had to do before they were going to sit down and talk to the kids. But I don't believe for 1 second that a judge said, don't tell them kids y'all getting divorced. I just feel like maybe there was a process they're supposed to be following. Because like I said, we did read those court documents and we saw where Ralph is alleging that Drew was in violation of the court order because she's not sending those kids to therapy. Because it's just not making sense to me. I just ain't never heard no shit like that before. And again, I've never been through a divorce, and I know that every divorce looks different in every state, every county. I understand that. But baby, this don't make no sense to me. But anyway, that was all that was, child. Moving right along. I think Drew's son is the one being protected. I don't know. Okay, maybe one of the kids. That's what I'm saying. There must be something. And again, I'm okay with that. It's the kids. We don't need to know all the kids' business. But it's something don't make sense to me. Y'all know how I am. If it doesn't make sense, then it's just not true. And that just doesn't make sense to me. Again, if a judge ordered that, there has to be other things that we don't know about. And we don't have to. But I mean, if y'all been separated for damn near a year, like, come on. Right. Daddy lives in the basement and is not even allowed to come upstairs. But y'all ain't supposed to sit down and talk to the kids about what the problem. Like, come on, that don't even make no sense to me. But anyway, moving right along. So Porsha is having a pamper party because now that she got to pay her own bills and not live off of her husband, she got to go back to these businesses that she damn near abandoned over the last 2 years. So Pamper by Porsha are her sheets. Right. The judge ordered them to send the kids to therapy. Yes. And maybe in therapy, maybe the judge thought that a therapist should tell the kids. I mean, I'm sure there's more to the story. I just don't believe that was the only thing. It's more to that story. Oh, okay. So she tells the ladies, because I must look, the first time I missed it on the invitation, that she told the ladies to wear their sexiest lingerie, because I was like, why are these women showing up looking like hookers? Because there's sexy lingerie and then there's hooker lingerie. And them women was showing up looking like hookers. I mean, Kelly had her whole ass out. Kelly was walking around in a whole thong. I'm surprised that they didn't have to edit that out where we could see all of Kelly's ass. I mean, all of her ass, okay? And I don't know what that outfit Britt had on with just the pasties covering up her nipples. I was like you can wear lingerie and not look like a hooker. Like, it's not mutually exclusive. I don't want to sound like a Porsha stan, but I have a set of sheets that are good sheets. You don't have to listen. If you put the sheets and you like them, I ain't saying, listen, girl, you better let us know. Let us know, okay? Can I say something? Listen, and I know what y'all are gonna say. Y'all are gonna say, "Really, B, you are only saying this because you sort of your feelings your feelings about Shamea have sort of changed." That is not. Listen, I was just trying to give people some grace. Can I tell you that I absolutely positively hate the way that Shamea dresses? I hate it, and I have tried. Y'all, I have tried. I promise y'all I have tried. But every time she show up, she just looked like a fucking clown. The little outfit she wore last week, and I ain't trying to be disrespectful about people's culture, but the outfit she wore last week looked like she stepped right out of Queen Latifah Ladies First video from 1990. Like, girl, what do you have on? That outfit that they showed up, when that outfit she had on when she showed up over to Kelly's house. I think it was Kelly's house when she had on that green. I don't know if it was a Gucci outfit or whatever. Remember that time she had on them Gucci shorts and she still had the tag on them? Like, I get it, girl, you're rich, but I need you to get a stylist. That outfit. She just always looks like she's dressed as a character. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, girl. You just got too much money to look the way you look. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you got a cute shape too, which means you can walk into any store. Like when you're a bigger girl, you can't walk into any store and get everything. They ain't always got your size. But girl, they got your size. Wherever you go, they got your size. Okay? Anyway, moving right along. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. I just had to say it. Because once again, she showed up. Her outfit looked tacky. Portia's outfit was cute. Even though it was cute, even though it was still hookerish, but it didn't look, you know what I think it was with Portia's outfit? It didn't look like she was trying too hard. It didn't look like she was trying too hard. It was hooker-ish, but it was cute, right? Kelly with the thong and the wings, like she was trying to do the whole Victoria's Secrets thing. And then Britt with the nipple. It was too. Cynthia was classy. I don't know what she had on under her robe, but y'all know what Cynthia child was classy. Porsha was cute. Drew. I mean, she was all right. I will say this though. I will say this. Drew clocked that tea though. Drew clocked what Porsha was doing. She said, "I'm sorry, we doing a free photo shoot for Pamper by Porsha? Cause I didn't sign up for this. I'm not getting paid for this. You fired me, remember? I was an ambassador for Go Naked Hair and I got fired. I'm sorry. Am I doing a free photo shoot? Is this for Instagram? Because I didn't sign a waiver for this." I said, "I know that's right, Drew." Baby, Drew clocked that. Drew clocked that tea, and I was here for it. I thought that was funny. And then Kelly pulls Shamia to the side to basically give her the tea and say, "Look, girl, let me let you know what's going on, okay?" Angela went back to Porsha and told Porsha ABCD. And then Porsha then said ABCDEF. And Porsha feels some kind of way because she felt like that that you were saying stuff that you should have told her, and she's kind of in her feelings. So I feel like the two of y'all need to talk. Now, in this moment is when I side-eyed the entire fuck out of Shamia. Shamia, how you just gonna jump over the fact that this whole conversation started because of a conversation you had with Angela, and Angela told Porsha how she felt, and then Porsha responded, and now it's just a really bad game of telephone that y'all are playing? I'm sorry. How you gonna sit here and get in your feelings talking about something? Because I don't do that with my friends. I don't sit around and let my friends just talk about me. But you had a whole conversation about Porsha with two other people. Like, what we not gonna do is sit here and act like this is a one-sided situation. I mean, because from what we could see, Porsha really just responded to what she was told you said. Am I wrong? Put it in the chat now. Tell me if am I hearing this incorrectly? Am I hearing this incorrect? Put it in the chat. Am I right that Porsha, in this moment, we talking about this episode, we're not talking about the history of Porsha and Shamia. We talking about in this episode. In this episode, Porsha was just responding to what she was told that Shamia said about her. And you know, thank you, Miss Gigi. Miss Gigi said you should see the mess Shamia has on Watch What Happens Live, a pamper by Porsha bed sheet cape, and her hair is on point. But somebody said, I don't know if they said this on the Whether You Like It or Not panel, or if they said it here. I really don't remember. But somebody was like, I don't think Andy likes Drew, because how come Drew is never on Watch What Happens Live? And I kind of have to agree. Drew, have you pissed off Andy Cohen? Because this is Shamia's second time on Watch What Happens Live this season, and Drew ain't been up there yet. How you circling back around? And you still ain't had everybody on there. Britt done been on there. We know Porsha been on there, child. Angela been on there. And I don't know about Kelly or not, but this is Shamia's second time. You're not wrong. Angela didn't tell Porsha anything crazy. Kelly was the one who hyped Shamia up. Shamia full of it. She likes to play games. Her and Porsha are friends for a reason. Ooh, that. Wow, I didn't even notice that, but that's true. Yeah, I just wonder. I'm wondering, did Drew, like, because somebody said that somebody's like, Andy doesn't like Drew, and I'm wondering, like, is it true? Because that is interesting. Kelly has been on there. So everybody's been on Watch What Happens Live this season except for Drew. That's interesting to me. Has she been on there this season? I know she's been on there in the history, but has she been on there this season? Maybe she just got a conflict. Maybe she's got a scheduling conflict. But I just thought it was interesting. Somebody brought that up, and I thought that was interesting. But that's not a big deal, child. I'm sure she'll be on there before the season's over. Okay, Renee says she has been on there this season. Okay, all right. So now Bab is saying no. Okay, so L Boogie says she has. Okay, but now Two Love said not this season. Okay, I need y'all to figure it out. I don't know when the last time. I don't remember Drew being on there this season. But to be fair, I don't watch every episode or Watch What Happens Live. So if I'm being honest, I don't watch every episode. So I very seldom watch any episodes, if I'm being honest, unless something happened that I feel like I need to see. So maybe she's been on there. Maybe she's been on there. Okay, so not hell, even Cynthia. Now she had a bad tire, couldn't make it. So shout out to the 271 in the room. If you guys haven't done so already, please hit the like button. If you're new to here, please subscribe to the channel. Donations are not required, but they are appreciated and they are accepted. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. Okay. Well, we might need to do some research on that one, because I don't remember her being on there this season. But that might not be a big deal. Like I said, it may be a scheduling thing. I mean, she's busy on her world tour. I don't know. But anyway, so now we're at the pamper party. Thank you, Bo Steele. Thank you, Boo. Her last appearance was June of 2023. So no, she has not been on this season. Damn, it's been almost 2 years. Damn, is that right, Kenya? She hasn't been on Watch What Happens Live in almost 2 years. Wow. Okay. So, I'm sorry. So, they're going to this meditation thing. And Shamia is not meditating. Shamia has an attitude. Now, here is where I feel like, Kelly, you were trying too hard. I already felt like you was being messy when you pulled Shamia to the side and let Shamia know what was happening. I already felt like you was being messy. But again, it's a TV show. So we gotta, somebody has to be a bone carrier. Cool. But when Shamia wasn't meditating and Kelly got up in the middle of the meditation to go talk to Shamia, now I felt like you were doing too much, Kelly. Now I felt like you was being a little too extra. Okay. The show was on hiatus. The show was on pause. Okay, maybe that's what it was. So they're talking, and to be fair, they were being rude. They would listen. You may not want to meditate, but there is meditation going on. That was rude to Lauren, who was leading the meditation, and it was rude to the rest of the ladies who were trying to meditate. So if Shamia felt some kind of way, she was being quiet. She was being quiet. Kelly went over there to have that conversation. So once the meditation was over, so Shamia was, basically like, I don't feel like meditating. I ain't in the meditating kind of mood. And, I'm feeling some kind of way. So Lauren said, so now it's time for us to clear the air, right? And, you can say what you need to say, but you got to ask for permission first, right? So Angela says to Porsha, I appreciate your apology. And I understand, that we may not ever be best friends, but hopefully this could be, a foundation or whatever. And, Porsha is like, I received that. Thank you. So here come Kelly, messy ass. Well, I think that Porsha and Shamia need to talk because I feel like obviously Porsha is feeling some kind of way and Shamia is feeling some kind of way about things that are being said. And I just feel like y'all need to just clear the air. Now, Shamia, to be fair, Shamia wasn't saying nothing. It was the rest of the group that was instigating, well, really Kelly, that was instigating this conversation. So Porsha is like, look, I felt some kind of way because, you're having conversations about me, about our friendship. And I don't appreciate that. And Shamia was like, well, I don't let people just sit around and talk shit about my friends without checking them. I mean, that's just not the kind of friend I am because, I'm loyal like that. And again, I'm like, Shamia, how are you sitting here playing victim? You're not the victim. You set this shit off. And Angela was like, well, how would I know about the wedding thing? And Shamia was like, well, because, it was on the show. Like, it wasn't like people didn't know that Porsha didn't come to my wedding. But I agree with, I think it was Vap that said, I think Shamia said more. So, Porsha, I was with you until you lied, child. I was with you until you sat there and lied, okay? Let me see, hold on. What did DB say? He said, hold on. Because she recently said opening that Nene should come back. Well, I don't think that's the reason why she hasn't been on Watch What Happens Live, because a lot of the ladies have said that about Nene. Kenya said it about Nene. Porsha said it. A lot of the ladies have said that about Nene coming back. I don't think that's the reason why. A lot of ladies have said that they think that, that they would love to see Nene come back. So I don't think that's it, DB. I mean, I don't know. Porsha sat there and told a whole lie and said that, because she finally admitted what all of us have already known, is that you didn't go to that woman's wedding because you was mad at her. So let me let y'all hear this. Okay. For those of you who run around. Mm-hmm.
To be in the wedding, figure that shit out. Porsha has dogged Shamia out, treated her like and now she doesn't even want to go to the girl's wedding. So to me, I'm like, you really need her as your friend. Like, physically, I just can't do it in college. Why don't you go to the doctor? You know when I passed out at the nail shop.
Now, first of all, she said physically, I just can't do it in coach, which leads me to believe that if Shamia had sent you a first class ticket, you would have been good. But you were like, I can't fly to Kenya and coach because I have leg issues. Girl, then why you ain't upgrade yourself? How about that? Because if you were my friend and I really wanted to be there and that's the only way I could make it, how about you upgrade yourself to first class, to business class? Oh, you didn't have the money? Oh, okay.
She has been milking this whole. I'm supposed to, Shamia. Okay, put me on y'all's payroll. Okay, so help me understand the condition. Oh my God, I can't. I sent you the whole thing on it. I know, I was mad. I didn't read it. Oh, that's not nice. Why was mad? Because I was telling you something about my health. I would have thought you would have read that. She got a doctor's excuse for everything. Doctor, brought me a doctor's note. It's crispy. Let me see. Let me get one of these notes here. Do I have it? Let's see. Letter I need. Porsha, you're telling me you're not coming to my wedding. Yeah, but I'm telling you something about my health. It's not the flight. Bottom line is you're not coming. She can't sit on a plane that long with her legs down. They used to being up all the time. I can't with you. I wish that Porsha would just be honest and say that she doesn't want to go, because clearly she goes everywhere else that she wants to go, medical condition and all.
So that's a clip from that season, okay? Now, Porsha said, I ain't go because we weren't speaking. And here's the thing. That's all Porsha had to say. But all of these years, what Porsha has been telling the world is, I didn't want to go. I was sick. I couldn't go. Okay? The whole world, she was like, oh, well, I'm sick. I can't go. So you finally admitted what we all knew was to be true. Porsha didn't want to say they fell out. But my thing is, you're finally admitting what we all knew to be true, which was you didn't want to go to that wedding because you was mad at Shamia. And at the end of the day, you have every right to say, I don't want to go to that damn wedding. But now you finally admitted what the issue was. So you got caught up in that lie tonight, right? I think the issue was that Porsha didn't want Shamia to get a peach, and it got back to her. That might be it. That might be it. I think that's what Shamia thinks. Now, let me be clear. Maybe even if they were speaking, I would have still been there for my friend. Yeah. And then Portia's thing was, well, I was here for your traditional wedding. I was in your traditional wedding. So why does it matter? It matters because, well, now it matters because you lied about it. I mean, granted, that was something that happened a long time ago. So at the end of the day, it's not that deep. But what matters is that you lied about it, right? But she was in an Atlanta wedding. I don't think that's the point. For me, that's not the point. The point isn't whether she was in a wedding. The point is you didn't come to Kenya, to the wedding in Kenya, and you lied about your reason why. Because let's be clear, nobody believed that bullshit when it happened. Nobody believed that story when it happened. Nobody believed nothing about her health and her legs. Nobody believed that. Because you couldn't even articulate what the issue was. Again, I don't think we need to sit here and split, not us, but I'm saying the two of them. I don't think we need to sit here and split hairs over the fact that, you know, the fact that you didn't come to her wedding 10 years ago. But I think that in the midst of an argument, when there are unresolved issues, everything is going to come up. And so that's why it came out. I feel like if Shamia knew this could have been resolved a while ago. This is all feeling like a storyline to me at this point. Ooh. As a friend, Shamia would have told Porsha she had a problem with it instead of bringing it into this new group of women. I agree. Now, I don't think, like I said that earlier in this review, for Shamia to bring it up, like, I feel like that was kind of messed up. To talk to Angela and Drew about it, that was messed up. I don't believe it when T.I. happened myself. When it happened myself, I always chucked it up to her being jealous. Oh, okay. Yeah. Again, the fact that it's so much longer and it's being brought up, like I said, to me, that's not the real issue. That's just an unresolved symptom. The real issue is that Shamia and this is my opinion, and I know that the Porsha people ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. I honestly feel like Porsha and Shamia were cool as long as Porsha was the one on top and Shamia was the one on bottom. And now that Shamia is here, and I'm not saying that they're in a different space. I'm saying I think this is how Porsha feels. And now that Porsha doesn't have all of the materialistic things in this wedding, this marriage, this money, and the lifestyle that Shamia has, I think that's part of it. And the one thing that Porsha did have was she was able to go back to the Real Housewives and be HBIC. At least that's what she thought it was going to be. And I honestly think that's what the real issue is. And I think there's a level of jealousy, a level of envy. But as long as Shamia was the sidekick, it was all good. But now Shamia is not the sidekick anymore, and now we have issues. But again, I'm not going to sidestep the fact that Shamia, you kicked this off. Now, do I think this is a storyline? I don't. And the only reason why I say I don't think it's a storyline is because they still ain't cool now. You know what I mean? Like it'd be different if they made up like in reality TV fashion, they made up. But the fact that they're still not cool makes me feel like, no, I don't think it's a storyline. Who said that? That's what I lost it for Porsha asking who said that. Bitch, you the one who said it all along. Right. Okay. I agree, because we saw her on the show. Everyone had to do what she said and make her the focus. Not Gatormouth has a jealous spirit. My God. If that was the issue, why haven't we seen Porsha biting Shamia back out? Instead, it's the other way around. That's just how I feel. Didn't Shamia say something about Porsha showing her text and trying to get her on the show? Yeah, she said that she felt like Porsha was trying to keep her off the show until Porsha showed her the text showing that she was trying to get her on the show. Yeah, I don't think that Porsha was the sole reason why Shamia was never made a housewife. I think it did go back to her husband not wanting to film. Like I do, because I'm sure that for as close as Kandi and Shamia are, I'm sure that Kandi was advocating for Shamia. I think it was a variety of reasons. At one point, Shamia said she didn't want to be. So now I'm starting to think that maybe that wasn't true. That when she said she didn't want to be on the show. Now I'm thinking, well, maybe that's not true, because it sounds like you did. Sounds like you wanted a peach. So. Not Porsha looks like a beautiful. You know what? I'm not doing this. Tomorrow night, the Whether You Like It or Not panel will be on Josiah's channel. I will be posting it. It'll be on Instagram. If you're not subscribed to JoJo, which you should be, but if you are not subscribed to JoJo, it'll be on the community wall. But just look up Josiah's World TV, and you should find his channel. As far as tonight's episode, baby, I think this was a great episode. Again, I hate to see Porsha and Shamia's relationship dissolved, but we all knew from the beginning that Shamia and Porsha at some point this season their friendship falls apart, and this is where we're starting to see the foundation crumble. Again, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the panel feels about it, but in my mind, I have to side eye Shamia on this one. I feel like, Shamia, you kicked this off and now you playing victim, unless it's more to the story that we don't know about that might come out later on. But from what we learned tonight, you was talking to Angela and Drew about your issues with Porsha instead of talking to Porsha about your issues with Porsha. And then when somebody brought it to Porsha, Porsha responded. She still didn't talk shit about you, to be clear. She just said that she, couldn't believe that you did that to her. And then you ruined her event. Well, you ain't really ruined her event. Kelly ruined her event. Kelly ruined her event, if we're going to be honest about that. I don't think there's jealousy. I think they played their friendship roles, how it fitted them until others got involved. Shamia rubs me wrong too. Okay. All right. I hear y'all. Well, with that being said, y'all, we about to get out of here. Shamia's crying. Lord, over on what? So I'm sure that's going to be on the blogs tomorrow, child. Oh, thank you, Tam. Thank you for the Cash App. Yes, best friends attend every wedding. I be hurt too. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate you, my love. Thank you. Appreciate you. You bought me lunch tomorrow. Thank you, boo. Shamia's crying because she knows she was wrong. Ooh, honestly, all Porsha did was cry. She didn't back. That's what I'm saying. Porsha, on camera, we did not see Porsha give anything. She even kept it cute at the pamper event. She kept it cute there too. Kelly stirred that pot. And again, I ain't mad at Kelly. The producers probably told her to do it, child. Kelly did what she was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? She played her position. So, all right, y'all, let me get off of here so I can get ready to go to work in the morning. Another work week, honey, but it's all good. I will see y'all tomorrow. Oh, excuse me, y'all. See, look, I'm yawning. I will see you guys tomorrow night. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace. Oh, that's a good one, kid. Shamia got mad fast, which makes me think she said more and was trying to deflect. Ooh. Thank you, Ocean. Thank you. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. Talk to y'all later. Peace.